So this is all about launching your mobile bar. So getting from idea to your first event, making sure you're avoiding mistakes, making sure you're putting your business in the best position possible to start printing some money, start making some money here. This is going to be a very quick presentation. It's going to be 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes tops. So if you blink, you're going to miss something. And here's what we're going to cover. Just quick intro, the main keys to win and mistakes to avoid. Putting together a business plan, finding a trailer, licensing, legal, equipment, sales, marketing, and social media. And 7 and 8 are always going to be my favorites. I have a very strong sales and marketing background. So if you don't know me, my name is Eric Del Bono. I'm the founder of the Wanderer Traveling Bar in New England. We're in Connecticut specifically. Started Mobile Bar Hub after we did very well and started Wheelo, our software for mobile bar owners and a lot of bartending experience. And we hit our revenue goals in year 1. With the Wanderer. And now we're turning down events. We have so many leads coming in. We're closing a ton of business and we're only working on events that really make us a lot of money and give us a good net profit. You go check out mobilebarhub.com. I'm unloading a ton more free resources there, guys. I've been working my butt off the past 2 weeks, free podcasts, videos, all that stuff. Let's start in just step one. I like to cover mindset stuff and kind of the landmines of starting a business because there's very common things that I see with business owners and people that are getting their business going. One of the biggest things that I do see is, hold on, let me pull this up. Did I forget something here? Had some notes here, 1 second. So this is still a great industry to get into. I see a lot of comments about this being a saturated space and why are people selling their mobile bars? But this is a great industry to get into. I haven't ran a business in my life that has been so easy to sell and been just a fun business to run. This is all about keeping things simple as well. So many things in business are just straightforward and simple. You got to do the basic things right, stay persistent, and you'll be fine. You'll make some money. Number 3, when you're running a business, you are now in sales. If you ignore sales duties, you will lose a lot of money. Sales is really straightforward. We'll cover that later. But once somebody inquires, you need to call them. You need to follow up with them after you send them a proposal and have a meeting with them. And you need to have a process for automation and things like that. Number 4 is failures are required. You're going to make mistakes in this business, in any business that you have. And business isn't like school where you can study for hours and get 100 on the test as long as you put in the time. You need to have the experience. You need to make mistakes in order to get to answers a lot faster. And it's really like studying basketball or a sport for a long time or studying how to play an instrument. You're not going to get anywhere until you start to do it and start understand the nuances of yourself, become self-aware of where your pitfalls are or where you may fall short, and understand what to outsource and things of that nature. And I love this diagram. I always show this in my other consulting business as well. A lot of people start a business and they don't understand the work to set up a sales process and do some social media posts, come up with strategies. There's a lot to it. And people are looking for plug and play systems. They're looking for safety nets. And it's just not it. And you can go through the motions there and you're just going to be in this mode over here of just struggling, trying to close deals. And you have to put in the time. You either have to invest money or you need to put in time to building processes, to writing emails that you end up throwing away. And then you rewrite them a month later and come back to them, put in the time and trying out software. Maybe it doesn't work, or trying some strategy. Maybe it doesn't work in your area or in your region. And then getting those mistakes out of the way, all the way to bartending. I remember there was one wedding I was bartending and I didn't find my wine key. There's this huge line piling up. You have to make those mistakes in order to just get comfortable with the business. So that's completely inevitable. So next, let's talk about writing a business plan. And this is going to help you with having a target, having goals, and really just sticking to them, and also giving you a little map on what to expect moving forward and working through those thoughts. So within this context, you want to make sure you're just following these basic bullet points. And I'll put a sample business plan on mobilebarhub.com, but you want to have a summary, just company description, what services you're going to be offering, what the market looks like, how you're going to go to market, what's your marketing and sales strategy specifically. Keep that simple. financials and your budget are really important. So that's pretty self-explanatory, very straightforward. But yeah, you need to write down a business plan. And we did this actually after we bought the trailer. I suggest doing it before. So that's that. Okay, any questions so far, guys? Just let me know. Drop them in the comments. I think I'm a little delayed on this streaming software here. But let me just go over to the comments, see if there's any questions. Nothing so far. Okay. Finding a trailer is really straightforward, but there's a couple things you want to pay attention to. Is you want to get an understanding of the market. And even if you're early stage, if this is just an idea phase, you want to go start checking out different trailers, start to kick the tires on some stuff. You can go with a completed trailer there's a lot of businesses out there that put them together, or a trailer you're going to renovate. And really what we did is we just lived on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, and we checked out a bunch, and you're never really going to know what's a good deal until you see a bunch of them. And there's always going to be more trailers too. There's plenty of them out there, especially if you're down south. So just be patient with it. Have more conversations. Don't be afraid to go check them out and not buy anything. It's not a big deal. Some people feel like they're obligated to buy something when they go and check it out. Don't worry about those things. But you're looking at around $750 to $10,000 for trailers. $10,000 is the very upper end. They can go a lot higher than that, but we paid around $850 for ours. Older trailer, we renovated all of it. You can get $5,000 to $20,000 for a completed. We have a buy-sell group. It's pinned to the Facebook group. So if you want to go and check that out, there's also other Facebook pages that are like horse trailer pages and buy and sell for specific regions. So plenty of options. Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. There's trailer sites where they sell used and new trailers as well. So licensing and legal. This is the number one question that we see within the Facebook group and all over the place. Licensing and legal. And I see a question popping in here. Who wrote your plan? We did. We wrote the plan. All you really need is bullet points, to be honest with you. My business partner actually went into depth and really wrote out a big business plan, but just, yeah, write it yourself. You can use ChatGPT to help you fill in the cracks or give you ideas. You can look at the one that we're going to post on Mobile Bar Hub, but write your own. It's important to do your own analysis and go through the thought process, understand what your business is about. But back to licensing and legal, guys, this is the number one question. You got to do the research in your state and in your county. It really depends on where you live. It's either going to be a dry hire or you're going to be able to sell alcohol. So you need to know those things. Insurance is pretty straightforward. If you go in the Facebook group, use that search function, type in insurance, type in states. There's a bunch of options that are all going to be in the same ballpark. But what you're going to need to do is go on Google and start to really search for pages and answers. And a lot of government offices are terrible at getting that information out there. So you're going to have to reach out to your government offices. You're going to have to continuously call. If you're not getting them on the phone, you're going to have to be persistent there. But instead of doing all of that research, I always suggest to reach out to mobile bars in your state. Maybe they're not in the next city over. Maybe they're far away, but offer them up for $100 for an hour of their time, or have some kind of an offer where it's like, hey, you're a little bit outside of our radius. When we do launch, we'll send you leads that are a little bit out of our radius, or maybe we're double booked. We'll send them to you if you help us on this phone call. And my business partner, he reached out to a couple of companies or mobile bars in the area. I thought it was a bad idea because as a business owner, I don't want to help people around me work through all the paperwork and basically do work for free to help a competitor come in and close events in the area. But there was a guy who only worked on very large corporate events. They only did $5,000 plus, 200 heads plus, and he subcontracted us a couple times. We gave him a really good deal. He made a lot more money in those events by offering a second mobile bar. He passes leads that were too small. We pass some leads for giant events that were too big. And he helped us with licensing and all the answers on what to do to get set up and get started. And just talking to somebody that's been through it and them giving you an answer in 20, 30 minutes instead of making phone calls, doing research, being unsure, delaying your decisions for 3 months because you can't find answers. it's worth $100. It's worth $150, whatever, to just get somebody to give you an answer. Definitely keep that in mind. Yeah, drop your questions down below in the comments, guys. Feel free to fire away. We'll have questions at the end, but if there's anything that's top of mind, I'll circle back to it. So licensing and legal, what else we got? Equipment and inventory. So with our first event that we had, we bought the trailer in the winter, and I started doing some social media stuff, some marketing right away. Started telling stories about it, and we ran a special, like if you book with us, if you're one of our first 5 events on the books, we'll give you a huge discount to get you to basically get our feet wet and get our name out there a little bit. So that was coming up, I think, in April, and it came up on us very quickly. So the beauty of that is we had to keep things simple. We had to hustle and get our trailer ready, but all of our equipment was, in our minds, was temporary. So we got the bartending equipment. We got things like the shakers, the bar mats, the cups, all the napkins. We put together our ice. We got some keg coolers. You've probably seen it in my podcast or in the videos before. Basically, the kegs just slip in there. We got a CO2 tank. We ran the tubes. I set up the 2 taps on top of our bar back, or the back bar that we have. Sinks, you'll need those if your state requires it. But we basically just wanted to get through the first event, and then we had a month until our next one. And we realized, like, keeping it simple gave us a lot of space to work with, and we just started to add extra things that we needed or that we wanted to make things a little more special. So yeah, disposable cups, napkins, straws, and to keep your inventory. So start with very common mixers, things like Coke, Diet Coke, Sprite, get a baseline, get some lemonade, get alcohol that's going to just give you a very good baseline too. Keep that simple. Don't get random bottles of stuff. Get a bunch of Tito's, get a bunch of your rum, tequila, whiskey, bourbon, and gin, and keep it really simple, because you can make a lot of different drinks with just that. You don't need 10 different types of vodka to get started, and just get that in place and keep it simple. That's going to help you keep prices down as well. And there's Dennis. Dennis is actually my business partner. He just dropped a little comment there for find shelves of business plans or related businesses. Yep. So you can modify those. Yeah, it's good to just see the templates out there. And I'll post our business plan on mobilebarhub.com, and I'm going to take out a bunch of stuff for legal reasons. It'll just be a template, but yeah, we'll post it over there as well. But keep things as simple as possible. How long we've been going for? So I don't want to go more than 15 minutes. A couple more slides, and I promise we're almost done. Then we'll get to the questions. So here's my favorite topic here is you need to understand that you're now in sales once you start a business. You either need to have somebody do it for you. You need to have some automation involved. By the way, Wheelo is all set up for you. There's a lot of automation that's going to take care of this with follow-up and getting phone calls set up and automated texting and emails. But you need to have a strategy in place to catch and net all of your fish before you start to try to spend more time fishing. That's a bad analogy, but you know what I'm saying. Before you start spending money on marketing, you need to make sure that once you have 20, 30, 40 leads, that you're closing a lot of those. For us, once we get 5 leads, we're closing 1 or 2 of them, which is great because our cost per lead is very low. It's $5, something like that. Marketing is very powerful, but making sure that you have the traffic coming in, that's marketing. But once the inquiry comes in, you want to call as soon as humanly possible. If they don't pick up, you want to follow up. We have automation set up with Wheelo. You can use other systems if you don't use Wheelo. Once you connect, you send the proposal. You're going to have to follow up. You want to find ways to create urgency. You want to work on what your script is on the phone call. All that stuff I'm going to release for free at mobilebarhub.com, and we'll go into very deep depth into the new membership there. But you need to be a salesperson, and it's not like you're selling used cars. Don't think of it that way. Once an inquiry comes in, they want to talk to you, and we can really break down what you need to do in that phone call once you do get them on the phone. So I think this is the last slide here. Is it the last slide? Yep. So marketing and social media. Once you get your sales strategy in place, just create a website, create a Google My Business listing. All this is free. Make sure that website's attached. Make sure you have keywords set up correctly. So Google says, okay, this is a mobile bar in Raleigh, North Carolina. And this is what we need to start showing people when they search. Create all your social pages and just link the website, make a couple posts just to get started. List on directories. So Yelp, all of those. Then now I think you can do a free posting. I don't know if you have to pay for it. There's a lot of different directories, and I'll make a list and put it on Mobile Bar Hub of what you need to fill out. And this is all about just getting Google to recognize you as a business. And that's just SEO. It's very straightforward. There's other things you can do, but you don't have to do much as a small business to just get populated as a mobile bar on those searches. Last is social media. A couple things to pay attention to, because I see a lot of advice floating out there, but let's just be real as small business owners. A is, at the beginning, tell the story of what you're building. Ask questions. Be like, hey, what color should we paint the trailer? Talk about yourself, why you started the business. People love following people. They love seeing the story of inception and starting something. It's something that everybody, I think, wants to do or is interested in doing. It's why they watch those house shows and watch the build of the house or the remodel. They love that process. So tell the stories, stick to a strategy, come up with a plan, dominate one platform. I think once you start to try to balance 10 different platforms at once, you're going to just be mediocre at all of them. So you can pick one, you do TikTok or Instagram. You can use social media tools and you can post to all of them, but it's just good to dominate one and focus on that and send them to your website. And don't pay attention to the numbers. Get into the process of posting, whether you get 1 million views or 10 eyeballs. And remember, if you get 50 views or 25 likes, even if it's your friends, that's a little momentum builder. And picture those people in a room. That's 50 people that potentially could be business in the next 2 years. And that number is only going to grow. Don't try to make things perfect on social. Just let it rip. And when all else fails, just post. Even if it's a selfie or something, just tell a story underneath the selfie. Even if it's the same selfie 4 times, just force it. All right. How long did I take there? A little longer, 20 minutes. But now we'll open this up to a couple questions here.